Hello and welcome. My guest today is a Portuguese independent documentary photographer and photojournalist who uses photography to highlight critical issues, amplify marginalized voices, and inspire change. Originally trained as an architect, she worked in the field for several years before studying photography in Lisbon. This led to an internship in photojournalism at the Portuguese newspaper Público, after which she decided to dedicate her career exclusively to photography. She now contributes to Público, Reuters, The Guardian, and which I probably pronounce wrong, the Carlos Gulbenkian Foundation. And important to mention, she has won a World Press Photo Award this year. My guest was born in Lisbon in 1991. Find out with me why she became a photographer, what she dreams of, who she looks up to, and what her next projects are. Welcome to the Donkere Kamer podcast with Maria Abranches. Hi, Maria. My
Hi,
Portuguese
Kat.
is not my forte.
No, it's great. You're doing great.
Welcome to my podcast and nice to meet you
Thank
here.
you. Thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure. And we have a lot of wind because we are in Arles at the photo festival Les Rencontres d'Arles in the south of France, and you have wind here which is called Le Mistral, and that one can be pretty heavy. But important to ask, what brings you here in Arles?
So I came to see all the exhibition because you have a lot of wonderful photographers here and some talks, and also because I'll present my work at Fujikina, which is an event from Fujifilm.
Yeah.
And together with some of my colleagues and friends who are also here. This is a wonderful city, so beautiful, and it's good to meet everyone here.
Yeah, photographers are known as loners, or often known as loners. Are you one of them or not?
Yes, I'm a little bit of a hermit, I could say, because I love to spend time alone, but I also love meeting people, so I have both sides.
Yeah, I'm a hermit as well.
So you get me. I sometimes run away to the countryside so that I can focus more on my project, because the city is sometimes too noisy for me.
Yeah.
But I love people, so it's a contradiction, but we have so many of them that I just accepted it.
Yeah, you have to, and it's also probably one of your strength or advantages. In my introduction, I said you are originally trained as an architect.
Yes, exactly.
But how did you then get into photography?
That it's such a crazy life change. So
I can imagine.
Yes, my parents were terrified when I told them. So I'm someone who likes many things. I've always been like that, and my mother used to be really scared of that characteristic of me, because I jumped from one thing to the other and
never completed something.
Sometimes it happens. Sometimes I did complete something, but I always wanted to experiment. And photography was the only thing that stayed with me since I was a child.
Okay. And how did you get in touch with photography as a child?
Yes. So my father is an economist, but he is also a painter. He does it as an hobby, but he used to have a studio with a lot of canvas, paints, and a Polaroid, which he used to photograph some subjects, and then didn't use it for a long time. So I used to steal it from him. I think it was when I was 6 that I started doing it.
Yeah.
And started documenting my life, my dog, my friends, my house, people that was important for me.
Yeah.
And then it was always something that accompanied me when I was a teenager. I used to have those silly blogs where we photograph everything and
like a diary,
yes,
visual diary.
exactly.
Yeah.
So at every point of my life, at every age, photography was there. And I was kind of forced to study architecture because it was the obvious thing to do if you want to follow art. For my parents, at least.
Okay. Yeah.
They said, if you want to study arts, you should go to architecture because it's how could I say it, more stable, which isn't even true, but that's what I did. And it's a really long course. But I would do it again because it's a very complete one, and I use many of the methods from architecture in my photography.
I can imagine. Yeah, so it's also a way of looking at things.
Exactly, and I think my vision as a photographer is completely shaped by architecture and all the influences from that time of my life.
Okay, yeah. And what was the moment or the point that you decided to switch completely?
I was really unhappy being stuck in a studio every day, like in front of a computer, because what I loved about architecture was drawing, which was something that you don't have time to do in the current rush we live in. Yeah. And I didn't meet people, and I love hearing people's stories. It's something that I've always loved. And I did a workshop about documentary photography who woke me up to the possibility of using people's stories to create photography, to communicate with the world. Yeah. Which is something that's very difficult for me. As you can see, I'm not very good at speaking and saying my beliefs out loud. I'm better at communicating them through art or photography or drawing or even writing. So it's my way to communicate. Yeah. And then I decided to quit. Yeah. And it was the best thing I've ever did. Yeah. And that was how many years ago? It was in 2020. Only 5 years ago. 2 weeks before the pandemics. Wow. Yes. What a story. Because I mean, in the intro, I said you just won a World Press Photo Award, which is like, I don't know, the let's say the most important photojournalistic award worldwide. So after a career of 5 years, that is incredible. I don't know if we can call it a career. It's so short. Yeah, but I think it doesn't depend on the years or the days or the months. Right. It depends on the intensity, and the work you have put into it, which is I think a lot. I don't know. I did work a lot to improve myself and to learn. I think that's the main thing. I always try to be learning from others, from experience. So I did a lot of that in the last 5 years. I can imagine. So you won with your series Maria. So like your own name, which you photographed in Portugal, and you were chosen out more than 60,000 entries from nearly 4,000 photographers from more than 130 different countries. I think that is an incredible achievement. I can't believe it when you say it out loud. It's surreal. It is. Congratulations, because it is very exceptional. But can you tell us what Maria is about? And if you want, I can tell you why the name, because it's not only because it's my name. Yeah. In Portugal, Maria is used in a pejorative way to describe a cleaning lady. Yeah. So I thought it was fun and provocative also since it's also my name and hers. Yeah. So and there is a generation difference as exactly. Well. Yeah. So I thought it was a way of doing a work for every woman at least in Portugal, which is my country. Yeah. And it's a story about an Angolan woman, Maria Abranches, who was trafficked to Portugal when she was only 9. And which was something I didn't completely know when I started the work. It was something that I kept finding out more things about during the whole process, which was about 4 to 5 months.
Okay.
And one of the things that shaped the work was that Ana Maria had a lot of archival stuff, like
So she has 2 names, like Ana Maria.
yeah, her real name is Utima, which it's beautiful because it means heart in Umbundu, which is an Angolan dialect.
Yeah,
language.
Yeah, that's a beautiful name. Yeah.
Yes,
But
but
Maria as well, actually.
But the Portuguese family changed their name when she arrived, and changed also her birth date. So it was like erasing an identity.
Yeah.
Yes, which is something that happened with so many other people during that time. It was after the independence of Angola, when it stopped being a Portuguese colony.
Yeah.
So a lot of Portuguese families, even the ones who were born there, were forced to move to Portugal.
Yeah.
And it was then that this family took Ana Maria to Portugal, with promises of studying, which never happened, obviously.
Yeah.
Which is awful.
Yeah.
She was only 9.
Yeah. Yeah, just a little girl. Yeah. So, what did you do? What did you photograph? What did you capture?
It was really difficult at first, because I think one of my discoveries with this project was that most of the time you're not photographing. So you're creating a connection with someone and making them trust you, and I think it goes both ways, because it's a real relationship. And the first few weeks I tried to get access to all the houses, which was not easy, because Ana Maria works in 8 houses and I could only access 4, which is okay to tell the story, but most of the other houses were from old people, and they were kind of not getting why I wanted to be in their houses photographing. But it's also about seeing the light that I have in each space, which room tells the story better, and letting things happen without imposing my presence.
But what story did you want to tell? Like her daily life?
Yes, I think I wanted to make visible the invisible work of a domestic worker, because it happens it starts really early in the morning. Ana Maria comes from home to work sometimes at 4 a.m. So most of it happens at night, so it's very difficult to photograph in dark sceneries, like dark rooms, and so the first weeks were getting used to that and seeing if it would be possible to capture some of the things she was doing. But that's the main thing. I think I wanted people to see a work that is essential to all of us, to every single one of us as individuals, but also to institutions, because if these women didn't show up at dawn to the companies, to the institutions, life wouldn't be possible. Like
it wouldn't be clean.
Exactly. So these people my work was inspired. I was reading a book from an activist called Françoise Verger. I don't know the name in English, but it's I think it should be the same. Feminismo decolonial, which is I think it's decolonial feminism, something like that. So Françoise Verger.
Yeah.
And she she opened the book with 2 main questions, which were: who cleans the world, and why does this role has gender and racial profile. So I think these were the two main questions I tried to answer with my work.
Yeah. And did you find an answer?
Yes, I think it's due to Portugal's colonial past. I say Portugal because it's my country, and I feel like it's also my responsibility as a Portuguese woman. But I think my country is still deeply marked by colonialism. The social structures still remain, and there's a clear separation of racialized people from the rest of the citizens.
Yeah.
Sometimes it felt like it was a parallel world, and I think it is, because the two worlds almost never mix, and it was really good to be part of the other side, because I consider myself a privileged person. So I have that. How do you say? I know that about myself. I know that I was always able to study and have a comfortable life. But it's also important for me to
know
see
the other side.
Exactly. Get in touch with other realities, and seeing that the world isn't just like I live it.
No, but that you care.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you feel most related to stories from your home country, Portugal?
That's a difficult question, because Maria was my first long-term project. It's not the first time I do something about colonialism and Afro-descendants and racism. It's not the first time, but it's the first time I think it had the quality to be shown in public. You know, I think the other works were exercises before this one.
Yeah.
But I think gender inequalities is a theme that will accompany me for my whole life.
And it could be worldwide.
Yes, definitely. I think this work could be shown, for instance, in Brazil, where the Portuguese also had a lot of influence.
Absolutely,
in the transit.
But it could also happen that you go to Brazil or South America to capture different stories.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it would be possible to capture this same story in other countries. Yeah. Because so many of them had colonies. So
absolutely.
I think the scars are the same. And the denial is also the same. I think some of the countries are doing some efforts to repair, if this is a thing that's possible. I'm not sure it is.
It depends on the current government, I think.
Exactly, which in Europe is turning even more to far right than. So I think it's very difficult to. Yeah. It's a debate we have to have now. It's urgent.
Yeah, and it's also a debate you can have with your photography, with your pictures. I also wanted to talk about your visual language, because to me it is very related to to be a painter. It's very painterly to me.
You thought so?
Yeah, the colors, the richness of the colors is very layered. Also, a lot of flare light.
It's funny that you say that, because a lot of people told me that your photographs from this particular work look like paintings.
Yeah,
I didn't think of that while I was doing them. But as I was telling you, architecture has a lot of influence, so light has a lot of influence, and also painting and sculpture and music. I love all these kinds of arts, and I'm someone who thinks in color. I think one of my main references in photography is Miguel Rio Branco, who is a Brazilian photographer,
Yeah.
who also uses color to his narratives. So for me, it's essential. I don't think in black and white. I would love to, because I love black and white photography, but it's an
not your
exercise.
yeah.
No, it's.
But was it a story you had to tell with photography, or could you also use, I don't know, audio, video, different media?
I think I could only tell it using photography as the tool. But I've seen wonderful works about these themes, like especially in cinema. There's a wonderful Brazilian movie called I don't know the translation. I will say the Brazilian name. It's
Sure.
Que horas ela volta,
Okay.
which means what time does she come back?
Okay.
Which is about domestic worker who takes care of a really rich family, and also Rome from Alfonso Cuarón.
Yeah.
There are a lot of approaches to these themes,
Yeah.
but none in photography. And I thought, if this isn't something that was told before in photography, or I think there's a photograph who talks about this, but mainly cinema.
Yeah. Yeah. So it could be a next time that you're using different media as well.
I was thinking of doing a bigger exhibition in Lisbon, at least in Lisbon, and I was interested in inviting other women. Some of them went to the exhibition and told me that was also their story. So I think it would be great to have a lot of women speaking their own stories in a video. But it's something that will add to the photography, and it's not a replacement.
No. Yeah. 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 I understand. I was curious to know, was this story like commissioned by no
No,
a
no,
newspaper, or you
no.
first started it and then it got published?
It only got published after the World Press Photo.
Oh, okay.
Because that wasn't my intention. You were asking me if I was thinking of other means to tell the story, and the truth is, I don't only have photography, as I was mentioning. I have Ana Maria's archive, and I did some collage to put everything together. So this work was always thought to be a kind of a diary.
Yeah.
Because I think it's such an intimate story that I feel strange sometimes to see it in a wall. I like the privateness of
the intimacy.
opening, the intimacy of opening a book and having it like in a small format.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love seeing the pictures in big formats, but it's a different sensation for me to see them like that.
And where did it got published?
In Le Monde, M magazine.
Yeah.
Which was something incredible, but I didn't try to publish it before.
Yeah. And are you thinking of publishing a book? Because that is a very intimate way of...
I already have.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I can show it to you. I have one there to give to a friend. Yes, because when I did it, it was always a book.
Okay.
And the first time I presented it in Lisbon, it was a prototype, but it was already a diary.
Yeah.
But yes, I think, and for Ana Maria, hearing something like, Maria won the World Press Photo, it's okay, but what do I gain from it?
Yeah.
And when we talked about the book, she was super excited to see her story in a book.
Yeah.
And I think it's something...
That's a different sensation.
Yes, exactly. Material, like...
And for our listeners, can you find the book worldwide?
Yes, I ship it everywhere because it's self-publication.
Okay, yeah. So they go to your website.
Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah, great. So it is self-published. People can find your book on your website.
Mhm.
And maybe also good to say, because we have a lot of photographers listening, how did you finance this book?
So it was partly from the awards, which were not large amounts, but since I won more than one, it could.
Yeah, it's also good to say that you won a regular award and you won a global award, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I also won the Corton on the Move.
Yeah. Apart from the World Press Photo Award, the Cortona on the Move festival. Yeah.
And there was this amazing grant of a festival called Inglewood Photography Festival, and they really helped me with.
I don't know that one.
It's new.
Ah, okay.
And I was the lucky person to win the first for the first time.
Wow.
And they were essential to help me publishing the book.
Yeah. So with these different awards and grants money, you could finance your book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it self-published, but with a little help from my friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, and also because I did a pre-sale.
Yeah.
So some of my friends and acquaintances bought it before it was even printed, which really helped.
Yeah, that's nice.
And that's a good way for other photographers to do it. I don't like crowdfundings. I wouldn't ask for one, but
it's a bit the same, though.
Yeah, but I was going to publish it anyway.
Yeah.
But if I had the money beforehand, it was easier.
Yeah. And is this story finished now, or are you still working with Ana Maria?
I speak to her a lot of times, but I think the story is finished. I didn't think that it was finished when I had the exhibition, but I think we never feel like our work is perfect or finished. So I had to make a stop to it because I think the story is told.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even if not perfectly, it's the way I did it at that time, and I have to move forward
of
and
course.
Start thinking of other projects. Otherwise, I will be stuck in this one, and I don't want that. I want to keep telling stories.
No, you have to create space in your head and in your heart
for the next.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. You won an award with a story, so I guess you are pretty good at shaping the narrative, shaping your edit, or do you need a lot of help with that?
As I was telling you before, as I'm really new to this photography world, how can I say? I applied to a masterclass called Narrativa, which is a place you love if you visit Lisbon. It's a gallery and also a library. It's like a library where you can see a lot of photography books. And every year it has a masterclass with 6 photographers, and I was one of them. So I did this work during this masterclass, and the photographer who gives this masterclass is called Mario Cruz. Is here in Arles, and he also won two World Press photos in the past. Yeah, and he was the editor. So obviously, I also edited my work because it's mine, and I like to see myself in what I'm doing. But I had a lot of help from him, and that was essential because it's very, very important to have someone from the outside to have a colder sometimes look to your work, because we have some
with more distance.
Exactly. Yeah, and I need that because we fell in love. I fell in love with some of the pictures, and sometimes they didn't tell the story that I wanted to tell, and that's important.
Yeah. How important is your network? Because I mean, you're quite new in this industry. but you are going as a rocket. Um, do you network a lot?
To tell you the truth, I'm awful at networking because maybe I don't seem, but I'm super shy.
You're a hermit.
Yes, I love people, but I love to
hermits can
observe.
be very, very social.
Exactly.
But they charge well when they're at home.
Exactly. But I like to observe a lot, and I learn a lot from observing.
But you do feel the importance of being out there, making connections like you do here. And
it's the first time that I'm at a photography festival.
Right.
And I didn't do networking yet because most of the people I've found here are already my friends back home. But I think it's really important. That's something I should improve from now on.
Yeah, you said yes to me to record an episode. So you take the opportunities when they pass by.
I think that's the thing. You said it perfectly. When things come to me, I embrace them. But I sometimes don't search for them. But I should.
Yeah. You won an award, a photojournalistic award. But do you see yourself as a photojournalist?
I loved the internship as a photojournalist, and I love photographing the Paralympics for Reuters, for instance. But maybe I shouldn't say this out loud, but I will. I think I'm distancing more and more from photojournalism because I think the kind of way of the way I like doing storytelling takes time, and the rhythm of our lives at the moment, I think the newspapers don't want stories that take a long time to do, because they don't have that time. They need to make money. They need to sell, and my story isn't the kind of story that sells. Because of the time it took me to get access and to build the trust, and so I guess I do a lot of weddings.
Weddings?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Wedding photography.
I'm not embarrassed of doing it because
I mean, I really appreciate that you say that, because sometimes we have the image that we can only work in the field of documentary photography, of photojournalism, if we 100% dedicate to that direction.
Yeah.
But financially,
it's impossible.
Yeah.
At least for me.
In the beginning, it is. So it's good that you say so.
It's very difficult to in photojournalism. There's a taboo with weddings, and for me, it's just a way to be independent and to have the main source of income in some part of the year, like from May to September in Portugal, which is the wedding season.
Now, actually.
Exactly. So I'm in the middle of it. And I had a wedding here in Nagel in May. So
no.
Really. So it was the first time I came here. Now it's the second.
Wow.
But the rest of the year I have it to myself and all the other projects.
Yeah.
So
then
this
you
is
have
my
savings.
freedom.
Yeah. And you also work for Reuters.
Yeah, but it's not a. They don't call me every month, so I don't count with it as a form of income.
Yeah.
So weddings are my main way of living.
Yeah.
And then I have time for the rest, and I experiment a lot with weddings. So I'm always photographing.
I can imagine that you shape your visual language during these.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, assignments.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's important for people to know, even when things are going the right direction. For instance, winning the World Press Photo, I still do weddings, and I will do them for a long time, I guess, unless things change. And grants are also a way of doing the kind of work that I want to do.
Could you elaborate on that one, like applying for grants?
It's I'm saying this, but I only applied to that grant which helped me with the book. but I'm thinking of applying to others. And during the World Press Photo Week in Amsterdam,
Yeah.
we had a workshop about that, and
Okay.
it was really interesting to see how you can pitch
Yeah.
a story to a foundation or
Yeah.
a publication.
Yeah. Like
and-
it takes a lot of time.
Takes a lot. It's kind of a job,
Yeah.
actually. It takes
Yeah.
weeks,
Yeah.
especially because every institution or foundation has a different procedure.
Mhm.
So you have to rethink and adapt to their values.
Yeah.
So that's something I'll definitely try in the future,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that I
That you
gain
have
more
a sort
time.
of a financial, more stable
Exactly,
situation.
and maybe do less weddings.
Yeah.
Because this year I have 18,
18.
and I used to have more in the past, but I tried. The difficult
Wow.
part is editing. Doing them, it's okay.
Yeah.
Photographing is my favorite part.
Yeah.
But I'm doing less and less, and I want to gain more time to do my own stories, and
Yeah.
I think that's my goal.
And when you photograph weddings, can you commit to your own visual language? Like I said in the beginning, to me it's very painterly, very subtle in light, in saturated colors, or is that a totally different approach when you do weddings?
Sometimes we have to adapt to the different clients and different situations, but I think I'm the same Maria that does photojournalism or documentary photography while I do weddings.
Yeah.
And my wedding photography project is called Atelier Memoria, and I think my couples are trusting my work more and more every day, so they give me the freedom to be creative and also to photograph with analog cameras.
You do?
So I do both.
Wow.
And it's kind of cool to get to experiment, and I don't want my weddings to be the boring wedding photography from the
And what
past.
is for you the advantage to also have these analog wedding pictures?
I'm thinking of doing some projects, long-term ones, in a medium format camera, so it's a way of
exercising.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's also a way of experimenting, and they love the analog colors, and it's perfect for me too.
And what kind of camera are you using? What the mid format?
At weddings, it's not possible to photograph medium format because it's too expensive. But I'm using an old Canon AE1, which was from my father, and still works.
Yeah.
Which is something the digital ones. We have to change from time to time.
Yeah.
So it's a very simple one.
Yeah.
But unbreakable.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you find the most, maybe fulfilling about the entire photography process when you work on a long-term project?
Maybe the figuring that it's mostly about all the other things besides photography. So photography is the tool, but it's a way of connecting to another human, or in this case, because it was a single person. It's really humbling to get to experience the lives of other people and having their trust, and I think that's the most important part of my work. And
That's also what you do in wedding photography, right?
Yeah, but it's different because weddings are a kind of luxury, so it's not a necessity or.
Yeah.
So my way of seeing both is completely different. I sometimes see weddings as if I'm at some film, and it's kind of
Yeah. And
a
you're
play.
part of the crew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And documentary photography and the kind of work I did with Maria I said it Maria, but it's Maria.
Maria.
It's a completely different thing, and it's the thing that interests me the most.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it is to do this kind of work with a lot of people instead of only just one.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I will try to have that experience in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe a community of people, or
Yeah.
it's a completely different thing because people relate directly to Ana Maria. And she was super exposed during the announcement of the award, and I was so worried about that because it was a diary. It wasn't published anywhere, and from one moment to the other, everyone knew who was Ana Maria. At least in Portugal.
But I guess she's pretty proud of it.
Yes, because she's really strong, and she's really proud of being a free woman. After all that she's been through, and she has a lot of difficulties. Obviously, she has some unresolved things, and some of them
and trauma.
Exactly, and some of these traumas came to the surface while I was doing this work, because she had a lot of things hidden, and it was important for her to tell them out loud. That's something she told me, that it was kind of a healing process for her too.
I can imagine. You're talking, or you talked about that this project is actually sort of a visual diary. It is very intimate. But are you also a writer?
No. I use a lot of different arts to communicate, as I was telling you.
Yeah.
But I have two handwritten texts by Ana Maria in my book, because I thought it wasn't fair for me to be the one who writing her story. I wanted it to be in her own voice, because I'm not giving her voice. It's her voice and it's her story. And I did some interviews while I was photographing her and asked if I could record. And two of the texts you'll find in the book are two interviews, are from those interviews, and she told me the things exactly like they are in the text, and I didn't want to lose the strength of what she said by asking her to repeat. So I dictated her what she told me, and she wrote it by hand. So it's exactly the way she said it at first. And the two texts are really strong, and you feel like really bad, and I think they're keys to understanding the whole story, because I don't have more texts during the whole book. Only in the end you have like a small resume of everything, but it's not the same as reading her words. Your work is really like real, raw, authentic, intimate. On the other side of the spectrum, there is AI, which is not better or bad, I think. But how do you look at that? Is it a world that you want to stay far from, or are you triggered by it as well? I was really impressed by the work of Jonas Bendiksen. I was fortunate enough to be in a conference
Book of Veles.
Yes, the Book of Veles. And if you use it as a critical tool, I think it's one thing. But it scares me a lot that it's not a regulated thing. But I think that awards like World Press Photo are fighting a lot against it, which is brave, because it's not easy. And I think it can be used as a good tool in medicine and in a lot of other areas, and maybe in graphic design, I don't know. But it's scary to think that one day we won't be able to figure out if it's real or not, because nowadays I still can. I think it's because of having been an architect,
Mm-hmm.
and we had to do those 3D renders,
Yeah.
and the feel of AI photograph, it's
Yeah.
the same of those renders. So
Yeah.
I still can see that there's something strange or different from an AI photograph. But I think one day we won't be able to recognize. And it's concerning because we communicate through images nowadays, and we don't know what's true or not
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. But maybe the importance of authentic, real images will grow, and
I
like
guess
the
so,
the
yes.
need of what you do with your photography will be even more important, I think. And on the other side, we can also use AI in, I don't know, researching
Yeah.
and maybe applying for a grant.
Maybe, but I don't know if you feel this. I tried using ChatGPT to write an email or something,
Mhm.
and it doesn't sound like me. So that's always something I think it's essential. We have to still be us, writing emails, applying to grants.
Yeah, but you can like you
Adapt
have
it.
custom
Yeah.
ChatGPT. Yeah, Y- it can sound like
Closer.
you. Yeah,
Yeah. Maybe even more and more. So.
Yeah, you have to just use the correct prompt.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
But it's funny because I feel like it is something that outside of Portugal it's becoming more common.
Oh,
But there I think it's
not
something
in
that
Portugal, not in Lisbon.
yeah, I think especially young people are starting to use it in universities and all.
But you are young.
But I don't feel that young anymore. I'm 33. I had
Still.
to think. But I think it's more common. For instance, I've met a couple of Americans last week, and I figured that it's a really normal thing there to
Mhm.
use it to write emails, write texts, and it's not used like that yet in Lisbon.
Okay,
And Portugal.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
think so, at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
But maybe it's my perception as an
Yeah,
hermit.
I think it's also depend on which sector, which professional sector you're in.
Exactly.
I think. Well, but it will. Well, there's AI is here to stay. I
Yes,
think
we have
also
to
in the
get
world of
used to it.
photography. Yes, absolutely. Well, so you studied architecture, now you are a photographer. You could call it a calling, I think. I was wondering, what would you advise young photographers, who are at the beginning of their career? I know that you will say, well, I am also at the beginning of my career. I have only 5 years in the industry of photography, but could you give them any advice to young photographers listening right now?
I think I learned a lot of things from this work, but two of the main are that if you want to do a long-term story, you have to be really connected with the subject, and you really it's kind of you need to tell that story, because you're not going to spend 4 or 5 months or even more, because there are a lot of longer stories, doing something you're not really interested in, or something you think it's urgent to talk about. So choosing something that's really important for them, and it can be anything. Just I think that's the
Passionate
main,
about.
exactly. And the other thing is you don't have to go to the other side of the world to do a story, because this one was just next to me. And I think we have there's I used to photograph in a wonderful theater in Lisbon called Barraca, called Teatro a Barraca, and it's an old theater with a lot of history and resistance, and it's wonderful. And one actress.
So you were the home photographer of the theater.
Yeah, for a time they were the first to give me the opportunity to do it. So it
Nice.
was great.
Yeah.
And one of the actresses whom I admire a lot, told me that everyone has a good story. Everyone, like if you speak to anyone, they will have a good story, but sometimes they just don't know how to tell it. And this was something that I think a lot all the time, and it's true. Everyone has a good story, and everything can be a good story if you have the right narrative. And I think that's also a good advice. Like if you don't know where to search, talk with friends, with people you meet every day, and someone will say something that will make you think of something important to say.
Yeah, and maybe it's also good to mention, because you say talk to people. How did you find Ana Maria?
Yeah, everyone loves to hear that. I've met her since I was 11.
Oh.
Because she worked at one of my best friend's houses. It was one house I used to go after school, and as I was already shy when I was a kid, I used to spend a lot of time in the kitchen talking with the adults, because it was easier for me to I think it's because
recognizable.
And I used to talk a lot with Ana Maria, and she kept working there until now. So one of the houses, the first one to give me access, was Madalena, my friend.
Yeah.
And then it was easier for me to reach the other houses.
Yeah, one step at a time.
Exactly, because that's the thing. You don't have access immediately to everything and everyone.
Yeah.
And that was really important.
Yeah.
And she thought, Ana Maria thought I was crazy when I told her, Anna, you have to let me tell your story, because it's really important. And as I told you, I didn't know half of it when I started it.
Yeah.
And she has
you
documents.
Didn't know all the trauma.
No. So because even for her, she was brought to Portugal. She wasn't trafficked. And traffic is a word that we use nowadays. Not back then.
No.
They were only taking a child to Portugal.
To save her.
It was the narrative of the savior, the white savior. So even for her, and when the awards was announced, one thing that she told me was that I didn't know that I was trafficked. And when I heard that, I was like, yes, we haven't talked about the word.
Wow.
I didn't tell you were trafficked. And when she told me this, I was so worried about the way she felt, because the word turns the person in an object. Yeah. It's shipment. And even if you see the document, the arrival document to Portugal, it's called Guia de Desembaraço, which means like she's an object. It's awful. And I think she was a little bit shaken by that word. Yeah,
but you talked about it.
Yeah, after that I thought, yes, Anna, that's what happened. And I think she accepts it, but the word is really strong. And
does she understand English?
No.
So she cannot listen to this episode.
But I will translate it to her.
Yeah. It's really nice. It's good that you mentioned this, because it's a story that was just behind your corner. Yeah. So.
And we have that. I think as photographers, we love to travel and meeting new cultures. And I did meet another culture at my own country,
Angola.
Exactly. Yeah. So sometimes we don't have the means to travel, or we don't have a grant, which was the case. I had to do weddings to be able to do this work, and it's just next to us, and it has to be something you can reach every day or almost every day for a long period. So that was the way I did it. And I guess most of my colleagues and friends from the World Press who won this year had the same experience.
Really?
I think so. Most of them had stories from their own realities. Some of them as agency photographers, most of them as agency photographers. but the World Press Photo Foundation has this beautiful goal of getting the audience to see unpublished stories too. So I think this is wonderful.
Absolutely. Yeah, and to always check what is achievable within my current situation.
Exactly.
Sometimes we are stuck in our dreams. Dreaming is also good, but you have to move on.
Yes.
To wrap up, Maria, do you have new projects in your head? What are you dreaming of today?
I have 2 projects I really wanted to do. One is in Brazil, in Salvador da Bahia, and the other one is in São Tomé e Príncipe. So former Portuguese colonies. So I think it will be related to colonialism and to gender inequalities, but I don't want it to be glued to this story. I want to do something different, and I want to always be remembered by this work. I want to do other things, and maybe using other means of communication alongside photography, the way I did with this work. But I'm still figuring things out. This year has been crazy, and I don't want to rush into anything just to feel like I'm doing something. I want it to be something that I really want to do.
So now it's time for researching.
Gathering some money and researching.
I wish you the best of luck with all your projects.
Thank you so much, Kat.
I
loved being here and talking to you.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for your time here
Thank
in
you.
Arles. Thank you also to you listeners for your fine comments on the podcast, so we can grow too, and growth is essential. And I want to support your growth because in August I will podcast every day. I will take you through a mini podcast series which is called The Daily Frame. Sort of 10-minute episodes in which I share insights on 4 things that are so important to you photographers, which is creativity, entrepreneurship, your mindset, of course, and what is going on in the industry. You will get 20 episodes, so I will publish an episode each work day in August for €8.88. Yeah, well, that's nothing, right? But I deliberately want to charge something for it, because if you pay attention, and then you will listen to it, and then you will work with it and implement it, and that is my goal. So it's low threshold, but it is transformative. So we start on August 1st, and you can register until 9 a.m. that morning. So if you feel, yes, I really want to use this summer more consciously to adjust, then this is really for you. And if you listen after the 1st of August, you can buy the series as a whole. You find all the information on my website. I will put the link in the show notes together with the link to Maria's work, and also linked to, where you can find her book. So this is it. Until next time.